So today I want to talk to you about towing a travel trailer or a fifth wheel. So if you're looking at getting one and you're not quite sure what you're going to get, the first thing you have to do is figure out how much you can tow. So you need to know how much these things weigh. So whether or not you are looking at a travel trailer or at a fifth wheel, they're essentially going to have the same type of sticker on the outside. You're going to come up here and you're going to look at this. And this sticker is going to tell you everything you need to know about it. So, for instance, this one says the unloaded vehicle weight is 5,960 pounds and the GVWR is 7,600 pounds. So the first number being the UVW, or unloaded vehicle weight, that is how much the camper actually weighs as it sits here on the lot. The GVWR is how much the frame itself is rated for. So that's not what you'll be towing, that's what you can put in the camper. And that includes all your gear as well as people once you get to the campground. So the difference between those two numbers is what's called your carrying capacity. So let's just say, for easy math, you're looking at something that weighs 5,000, the GVWR is 7,000, that means your carrying capacity is 2,000 pounds. So when you're looking at what vehicle can tow this, you probably need to find something that can tow at least 6,500 pounds to be comfortable. 7,000 would be perfect, but you don't necessarily have to have it because, again, you're not going to max it out. People think they're going to take thousands and thousands of pounds with them when they go camping, but it's not really the case. You get on an airplane, your suitcase has to weigh 50 pounds or less to go away for a week, so you're not going to go away for 4 days in a camper and all of a sudden take 1,500 pounds. Just doesn't make sense. There can be some confusion when it comes to how big campers are, whether you're looking at a fifth wheel or a travel trailer. So today I'm going to try to give you a quick crash course on how to figure out what size camper you're actually looking at. So campers will have lots of different model numbers. Like this is a 26 RLC, this is a 2240 RK, and this is a 296 RDTS. You would think that you're looking respectively at a 26-foot camper, a 22-foot camper, and a 29-foot camper. Essentially, you are correct. That's going to be the living space, but that's not the actual length of the campers. You come to the camper, you'll see that sticker right there. That will tell you exactly how much it weighs, what you can carry, and the overall length from pin to bumper. So the 296 is actually 33 feet 10 inches. The 2240 RK is actually 26 feet 11 inches. And that 26 RLC is actually going to be 30 feet 11 inches overall length. So if you're buying a camper and you have any sort of length restrictions, whereas you need to park it under a pole barn or you need to park it in your driveway, and so you need to know what the size of a camper is, just understand the difference between the number that's on the door, the model number, versus the overall length. And when you go into a dealership and talk to a salesperson like me and he asks what size you're looking for, just be specific whether you're talking about the model number or you're talking about the overall length, because those numbers are different, typically around 4 foot different, but it can vary as you see.
Hurricane season is upon us. So I'm going to go over a few short tips today and a couple cool new things that maybe you know about and maybe you don't. The first thing, obviously, when you're packing your RV, especially if you live down in Florida or anywhere that gets hurricanes, you're going to want to pack an RV kit, like an emergency kit. Okay, we're going to go over different things and different things to bring and pack, but let's go over like obvious things. Food and water are essentials. Sometimes people kind of forget, though, that when you're buying food and essentials, you need to make sure you buy non-perishable items and also items that have like a long-lasting shelf life. Couple good things like canned meats, even like canned seafood, sardines, things like that. Beans are really good. Power bar, protein, anything with protein is really good. Make sure throughout camping season you check to make sure nothing has expired or gone bad. And then the second cool thing, which I think is like super duper cool, they have, it's called a 4-in-1 power pack. So the way this works, and it weighs like 5 pounds, so it's not heavy. The way the power port works is it's got 4 things. You can inflate your tire for air. You can use multiple USB devices from this. You can jump start your vehicle, and it also has a flashlight on it. And guess what? It holds up, it holds power up to 1 year. That's huge. So it's a super cool thing. I'll maybe get one and show how it works, but just wanted to put that out there for right now. We'll be back with some more stuff this week. The RVA duo is signing off.
Looking at a fifth wheel with auto leveling and not sure whether you should have hydraulic or electric or what they do and what they do different, I got you covered today. If you want to figure out whether or not you're looking at an electric leveling or a hydraulic leveling system, when you get to the front, you'll see that the legs themselves are square on an electric system, and it'll also have a pull pin. So when you get to the campground, you'll pull that pin and let it drop till it's about 4 inches off of the ground. At that point, you'll go around to your pad. Then you'll come over to your system, you will turn it on, then you will manually hit this button here, dropping your jacks until they hit the ground, and you take the weight off the front of your truck. Once the weight's off the front of your truck, then you will pull your vehicle out, hit auto level, and you're all done. If you have auto level, it doesn't matter whether it's hydraulic or it's electric, it's going to essentially do the same thing. Hydraulic is superior in that it's faster, you don't have to pull any pins, but it doesn't mean that the camper necessarily is nicer because it has hydraulic. Sometimes weight is a key factor. If you have a camper that doesn't weigh a lot, hydraulic leveling can be overkill, so they'll opt for the electric leveling. A couple tips on how to use the system. Once you get it to the proper height and you've pulled your truck out, from there you're gonna hit auto level. Now, as long as after you leveled it, you've never touched anything manually or adjusted anything, when it's time to leave the campground, doesn't matter if it's a month later, if you hit return or hitch height, it'll take you back to that exact same height, and you can just back your truck right back underneath it. Always make sure that you have your coach level before you put your slides in and out. It'll make sure they operate smoothly, especially with some of the SwimTech slides. They have to be perfectly level or else you can encounter issues when you bring them in and out. Another tip is most systems will have a pad inside and outside. If you decide to use the pad inside and there are people inside of the fifth wheel, just make sure everybody stays still while it's leveling. Just find a seat or find a spot to stand and then just don't move during the process. Let's be honest, it doesn't matter what system you have, as long as you're not cranking, you know what I mean? Who wants to do that? Speaking of which. Or you could be cranking like this loser.
What?
The last thing I want to say is that however you decide to level your RV is your own business, and you should not call people names. Is that good? When it comes to your camper, everyone knows that water is the enemy, but not everyone knows that when it comes to your moving parts, it's the exact opposite. Don't let it dry out. There are lots of different kind of slide outs. Cable driven, electric slide outs, and hydraulic slide outs. Regardless of what type of slide out you have, they all have one thing in common. If you let them dry out, they'll give you issues. A well lubricated slide out will make sure that everything works properly. So what you want to do is bring your slide in, and when you're inside of the coach, if you go around here, you'll see there is a seal back here. That seal right there, you'll want to clean it, and you'll want to use a slide seal lubricant, and then you'll spray that on there. You'll bring the slide in or out 3 or 4 times, and at that point, you'll be done with that. You go outside. And once you're outside, you're going to come here and you're going to peel this back right here, and you're going to spray your seal throughout there. And then again, you're going to run your slide in or out 3 or 4 times, and make sure it's properly lubricated. You'll do that on all sides. You'll also want to make sure that you lubricate all exterior steps with hinges, any kind of exterior locks, any kind of exterior cargo doors, anything that has moving parts outside, you want to lube those as well. So if you have these type steps, you want to get in there and you want to lubricate that, and then you want to fold them up and down 3 or 4 times in order to distribute the lubricant. And if you have this style steps, you'll want to lube these legs here, which are adjustable, so that way, depending on how the ground is set up. And then you'll also want to get under here and lube this hinge here, again, just to make sure it functions properly. You want to make sure that everything is lubricated, that moves. In addition to your door latches here in the middle, you want to make sure those function properly, so when you slam it, latches. Of course, depending on what part of the country you're in, that's going to dictate how often you'll do this, but you want to make a rule of thumb every 6 months to do it. But if you notice that it needs it more frequently, then just change that If you have any questions or any tips you think I missed, please leave them in the comments.
Today I'm just going to do a quick video on washers and dryers. People always ask the difference between the combo all-in-one washer and dryer versus the stackable, how much they hold, you know, how long they take. So we're going to get to it real quick. Here is your washer dryer. Now they decided, this is actually a pre-owned unit, they decided to do the all-in-one. If you wanted a stackable washer and dryer here, these would just come out, these two shelves would come out. So they opted to do the all-in-one. Now, for a family of say like 6, probably not the best idea, but for like couples, this is magical. Because, as it states, all-in-one. You put your clothes in, it washes, you leave, you go to the store, you come back, it's already gone to the dry cycle as well. So it washes, then turns itself into the dry cycle. I just haven't figured out yet how to get somebody to fold it before I get back, see? So the luxury of having the washer and the dryer is you pull your clothes out of the washer, you put them in the dryer, you can start another load. Of course, the luxury of having the all-in-one is look at all of this extra space. Of course, space in an RV is, you know, key. So that is our RV video of the day.
RVs are going to depreciate, it's just a fact. One of the biggest concerns we hear daily is that RVs depreciate way too much. I'm not sure I want to buy something that's going to be worth 25% less as soon as I get it home. I understand, but you got to change your way of thinking or else you're just never going to do anything fun. Everything fun costs money, period. According to NerdWallet, it costs $8,000 to take a family of 4 to Disney World for a week. Anyone want to guess how much of that money you get back as soon as you leave Disney? Exactly, you don't get anything back. Yet as we speak, Disney is packed with thousands of people, and as soon as they leave, thousands more will be coming to take their place. Say you buy a camper today for $40,000 and in 2 years from now it's worth $30,000. So what? You've owned it for over 700 days. You could have went camping hundreds of times or used it as a guest bedroom when people visit or an in-law suite or a place to stay if unexpectedly you have to do repairs on your home. Or here in Florida, you could use it as a vehicle if you ever have to evacuate due to a hurricane because you know they will pop up. Here's the bottom line. If you enjoy the outdoors, or you enjoy peace and quiet, or you want to spend time with your friends and family before it's too late, then just buy the RV. If you want an investment, buy some stock.